Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Your Divine Glow podcast. It is your girl, Ashley Conyers. I am the Divine Glow coach. I'm a mindset coach who guides professionals to purpose-driven entrepreneurship. And today we have a special guest in the building. My special guest is a performing artist and motivational speaker who speaks about spiritual life experiences and the uncovering of worldly propaganda. He is also the owner of LBezzle Music and Barz Club. He paints a picture for people to change their lives from the physical to the spiritual, for sure. Please welcome LBezzle to this space. What is up?
Oh, peace.
Yes. That's a fact. That is
Everything
fact.
is up, and just trying to live a prosperous life
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so blessed to have you here. I always like to tell the listeners of how I meet my guests and how we connected. And you were definitely one that I did not know about. I met you at Industry Night, thanks to Keys, from Keys to the Game. And right, shout out to him. And you were on the panel there, and you stood out to me so much, like the sore thumb in a good way, right? Like, you just have a aura about you. You have a presence about you that it really, you can't unsee it, and I'm sure you hear that a lot of times. And if you don't, well, keep that because, you were one of the panelists that really, was very just off rip, just spoke about God. I'm like, yeah, I just resonated with you so much. And I wasn't even an artist. I was just there just to support, Keys and what he's doing, and just to be in the room with other artists and, people in that industry space. It was like awesome, but you were just different. You just brought something different. So I thank you for just bringing that energy wherever you go. And the second time I saw you was actually, I attended the Barz Club, and for the first time, and I was like, wow, like, you really does this. Like, I was like, it was like a whole production, and it just like the vendors, the artists, like you really have people shine. And I appreciate that about you because, I think a lot of times people just like to shine on their own, and it's not about us, it's about, I guess, if we have a platform, we have to give other people the opportunity to shine as well, because everybody has a story, everybody has talent, everybody has passion, and it's, important that we come together and do that.
Mm-hmm. So. And it's very important. Like, we cannot, and I tell people, I'm like, as my team was forming, I was always telling them, hey, listen, I gotten as far as I can by myself, and it's just like, I can sit here and try and do everything. Especially when I started off in the beginning, I was every hat. Everything. And expansion was key. Bringing more people in was key. The people is always key. There is nothing more, nothing less. Once you have the people, you can maneuver however you need to and accomplish, the goals that God sets out for every single one of us. Here. Yeah, we don't have to do it alone. We have help.
You're right. I mean, that's the life of an entrepreneur that you are. You are a boss man, okay? But can you share a little bit about your journey as an artist? Right? Is that where you started off as an artist?
Yeah. I started off making music. It was more on the generic side. It was more just, hey, I just want to make some hot songs. Kind of get out there, see what people think. I didn't always think of myself of having such a powerful voice. I knew that I could write. And so that's really started off with like stories and poetry. I started off when I was a kid, poetry and stuff like that. Then I branched off into the music. And it was pretty cool in the beginning, like trying to find yourself, trying to find your sound. And you might have like 3 or 4 ones that you like, and it's like, yo, you got to settle down on one. You got to pick one. You got to know what the people like, and it was kind of, it's not hard, really. It's just, what do you want to do? You know, like, and how do you want to go about it? And my music career from the beginning, it was pretty cool. I met some really cool people. I managed some artists as well within that. And after a while, I started to notice that people were listening to me. People would come up to me and say, "Yo, you have a different type of voice." And once I started to catch wind of that, I started to change my lyrics, and I started to kind of go. I never rapped anything bad, regardless. It was just like
Yeah.
regular.
I was
Yeah,
about to say, what did you rap about
I
first?
had a song called Philip Banks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Well,
was like Philip Banks, we making bank, Philip Banks. You mad
okay.
that you can't Philip Banks. So it was like
Got
Philip Banks,
you.
but also fill up Banks. So it was that
Oh,
play,
okay.
and
Got
people
you.
rocked with it. They liked it.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow.
It was cool. I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. And then people
Yeah.
started coming up to me, telling me about my voice and
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay.
I started to change, switch
So
over.
it definitely sounds like you were very more the materialistic side at
Mhm.
first, and then you were like, hold up.
Yeah, yeah. Because when you first get into it, you really do emulate everybody else around you. Like when you first make music, you're thinking of, you go on YouTube, Travis Scott type beat, Lil Wayne
Yeah.
type beat. So you automatically are latched on to an artist that you already liked or known. And then when you're writing your music, it's not going to be what comes directly out of you, because in the beginning as an artist you're scared, like you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's going to like this, so you're going to write like an artist that you grew up listening to, and none of it's you.
Yeah.
None of
That's
it's you.
that's the thing. You got to come out the gate being you.
Original, yeah.
Yeah, because like once you start being you, then people are gonna look at you like, "Why are you switching up?" Like, but
Mm-hmm.
wait, this is me. This is
Mm-hmm.
me. Then they're
It's the
so
truth.
confused.
Yes.
I get it. I get
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah, so but like at those points in time, you're not taking it serious. And so you're just like, hey, I just do this for fun, until you decide, like, hey, I have something here and I know I can take it serious.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, what happened to me. I was just making my, hey, jump up and down to this, like this song. And so I need you to feel this song. I need you to internalize like what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
so.
that's good. And I would say too, the name LBezzle.
Mhm.
What does the song? What does the name mean? And why did you pick that name?
Oh man, that's really, really long story short. My whole life I had nicknames. Um, the funny thing is my last name is actually Smiley. Like I'm a Smiley.
Mm,
I got four brothers with the Smiley boys. Um,
mm,
I went to college. People used to always point out how light skinned I was. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, really? Like, this is the thing. So they used to call me Light Bright for some reason.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just, I was so used to nicknames that I was just like, listen, y'all, whatever floats your boat, that's what it is. That
Mm,
eventually turned into just LB. So people would call me LB
mm,
for just the longest time. Then people started telling me what they felt LB stood for, and believe me when I tell you, I'm not going to repeat, but I've heard every single combination of LB,
oh
like every
Lord.
single one. And so even combinations of like words that just make absolutely no sense at all, like they're just saying. And it was like a fun play that people just had. Like they would just call me
Mm,
L Busy, El Bistro, El, El,
okay.
like just all types of L and then the B or something.
Yeah.
And one day I was one day I remember I was like really stuck up on time. Like I was like rushing and everything like that. And I was like, what time is it or something like that? And they were like, there was like you're supposed to have a bezel or something like that. And I was just like, okay. I was like, you know
Mm,
what? Every life is time. Everything is time. So that's how the bezel kind of stuck.
mm,
The bezel kind of just stuck. And
yeah.
then people started playing with the L, and thank God for my bros Biggs and Joey. I love them to death. They're my entertainment. One day Biggs just looks at me. He's just like, L Bezel. He's like, what's the L stand for? And I was just like, it's just there. He was just like, Lord Bezel. And I was just like, yo.
Oh my
I was like, this
goodness.
name thing is just getting taken to this new
It
heights.
went so deep.
It went
So
all the way up. It went all the way
my
up.
goodness. Yeah,
Yeah,
so okay, yeah,
that's how it
now
came out.
I did not know. I did not know that. I mean, I've seen Lord Bezel on it, but yeah, that's an interesting story. So
Yeah, it's
you
very interesting.
could definitely give credit to your
A
people for
lot of
that.
people.
Like
Yeah,
a lot of people.
like they say like even your birth name, you didn't pick it. It was chosen
Facts.
for you. So all the names I ever had were chosen, like picked for me. So I have LBezzle, which is like
Mm,
more of like, I'm in the mix, cool, whatever. And then there's the Lord
yeah,
Bezel side of me, which is that's the preaching and all that. So it's kind of like,
got
you know,
you.
it's the two, So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's I love the distinctions, right? Because it's like,
It was
I
years
was
of
gonna
evolution.
yeah, and still, and it's right. You're still evolving, so that
Yeah.
could be way different. I was gonna ask you like, how does it help you in your creative process, your expression? But you just explained it that the L bezel, um, is for your artistry, your music. But then like the Lord bezel is like when you're preaching or like,
Mhm.
um, you call yourself a motivational speaker, so I guess in
Yeah,
that realm
yeah,
of
yeah,
things,
that's that part. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
so,
it's a play on that. So
yeah.
that's how my name's going to be.
I never really I don't know, the word Lord, right? Like when I use the word Lord, I only use it with Jesus, right? Or
That's
God.
yeah. I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. So why stick with Lord for yourself?
The funny thing is, like, it's not a name that I picked.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like when I perform and when I go to other places, I always say El Bezel.
Got
And
it.
I'll be like, oh, my artist name is El Bezel. And then when people meet me, they're the ones they'll play. They'll be like, hey, Lord Bezel, and this and that, blah blah blah. And I just be like,
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
yeah. It's one of
Got
those
you.
things where like I don't lead with it. It's just they
Mm,
just say it like that because they know like exactly what like I do and like what I'm trying to do, and we have to be more Christ like basically. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
so that's
Okay.
like it's like one of those things where I was just like when how God like he'll utilize people to come in and tell you certain things and do certain things and this and that to kind of give you like an indication like hey where's your life is going and stuff like that, and
Mm.
like it was like one of those things I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that was definitely the shortest version of a long story.
yeah,
So
yeah.
good job. So, can you actually share a time where you, I guess, encountered God, right? Like I know there's many of them.
Yeah.
There's many of them. But that revealed this life path for you of being an artist, being an entrepreneur, and all the things that you are, a speaker. What was that pivotal moment for you?
That was when I was 27 and I was working at Rutgers and I lost my job there. um, this is before any music whatsoever. This is before
Mm,
anything. I lost my job there. Um, I had my own apartment. I had my dream car at the time, actually, which
mm.
was a Camaro. Uh,
Oh, nice.
yeah. Um, I had went home that day, and really, I just felt like I just failed. Like I just felt like I just was not. I was at a job I didn't like,
Mm,
paying for a place I was never at, driving a car I was never in because I was always working. I had two jobs at this time, two full time jobs at this time.
mm,
Um, and I was still working. I was still writing and everything like that. And this was the moment at like when I left the job. I wasn't upset or anything. I just walked out and I just heard God's voice saying, "You're gonna be everything's okay. Like everything's already mapped out, kind of thing." But like you're just like, "Oh
mm.
my gosh!" Like it's the unknown. So I get home
Yeah.
and it just all comes out. Like I just fall down.
Mm,
I'm in my living room, and it was at this same time where there was a lot of thoughts coming in. There was a lot of like, oh man, I'm about to lose my apartment. I'm gonna lose stuff. Like I work so hard, and I work so hard in life, and like a lot of stuff just gets snatched away and just ripped away from me. I never understood why.
mm.
And at this point, God gave me clarity as basically He's like, yo, you're doing everything else but create. Like I created you to create. like I was a janitor at Rutgers, you know, not to knock anybody who's a custodian. Like that was my first job, you know, like I don't knock anybody with the job it is. If you get money, you get money. But
Yeah.
that it wasn't me. And I just remember falling to my knees in my living room,
Mm.
and then all of a sudden, my tears just stopped. Like, you know, when you're like mid balling and like,
Mm.
no, it's about 10 more minutes of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's about 10,
Yeah.
15 more minutes of this.
Yeah.
It was an instant, like, why are you crying for? Like, why do you
Yeah.
feel like something negative is happening? And then I, I just felt this euphoria I've never felt ever in my life. I've never felt any of this. It was like a wave that just came in. And like, you ever see like
Mm.
National Geographic, like the meerkats? Then everybody just gets up and they just start looking and
Oh my
whatnot.
God.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my-
I just got up and I started looking around and I was just like, yo,
Yeah.
something is in my apartment. I was like, this is like a massive presence in my apartment. And I just felt good. And I was just like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
And at that same time, I got one of those Facebook chain messages. And in the message it said, Jesus Christ just walked into your house and is taking all of your pain away from you. Send it to 10 friends.
Oh wow.
That was it. That was it.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Not
That's a
only,
message,
yeah,
if
not
any.
only, yep, not only did God tell me what was up, but he gave me confirmation that like I'm here and I'm going to transform you completely.
Yes.
And it was at that moment where like I got up, like, and then I felt I heard him also say like go to your closet for something. I'm like, what's in my closet? I'm like, just nothing but like boxes and stuff in there. And then I go to my closet and there's just one box in there that I forgot what I'm like, what's in this box? I'm like, I don't remember this box being in here. And I opened the box and a lot of people don't know I used to draw and paint. I went to King University for visual communications, graphic design and painting and art. That's what I did growing up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandmother was
Okay.
a military as well. And she drew and
Gosh.
everything like that. And it was like, open the closet. I'm like, okay, open the closet. And got me to open the box up, and there was my grandmother's sketchbooks. And they were unfinished.
Mm.
She painted Bible verses. She had them written at the top, but she had nothing drawn. She was gonna draw it out, but she actually passed away the day after my birthday. And she didn't get a chance to. Yeah, this was years prior to this. So I just had her
Yeah.
stuff. And
Mm.
basically it was just like please finish what I started type of thing
Mm.
in regards to that. And then I heard another voice saying that my voice was a weapon and that I can use my voice really to speak evil out of people.
Mm.
Come to find out that was my grandfather's voice, and his wife, which was my grandmother, both came to me at that same time and told me that. I've never
Mm.
been the same since. God gave me a
Wow.
vision shortly after that, um, about the shows, about my music, about how it's not just here, it's going to be the whole world. It's going to be beyond international. It's going to be this dimension and other dimensions. It's going to be beings on this planet, and it's going to be beyond this realm. Like I'm talking about, like there's going to be like I don't want to sound too far fetched or anything like that, but it's like other beings are going to enjoy what you're going to be doing. And
Mm.
that was
Mm.
probably the most interesting thing that I've ever heard. Because you know how they say we stretch beyond the boundless universes. The universes are boundless. And
Yeah.
to be told that my craft was going to reach more than this planet, in this realm, in this dimension,
Wow.
can't nobody knock me off my path ever. I don't care
No.
who you are. You could be the president. You can be, and it doesn't matter who you are. I already know what God told me. And
Yeah.
there's people who, I try to talk to, or try to tell them my vision. Like, I know what God told me. I know this, I know that. And they be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Or they're so stuck in reality. Like, I understand,
Mm.
like, be in your reality, but this isn't, like, we live in a dream.
Mm.
This is a
Ye-
whole dream world. You can do anything here, and people think they really can't. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm here to do, to take that out
Yeah.
of the way and light the fire up under them. To, you don't got, you're not a campfire,
Yeah.
man. Like you're a bonfire. You know?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
You
So that's what happened with me. God gave me the vision.
mm,
My family came through and was talking, like, your family will, if they cross over, they will contact. I'm telling you, you they will, they're here to help you too.
yeah.
That's why they're your family.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I got the vision, and I've been moving ever since that day.
Yeah.
It's been nothing negative. It's been moving up.
Wow.
And
That is such a
nobody's,
powerful testimony.
yeah.
Thank
And
you for sharing that.
yeah, anytime. And people like us, like my life, like I can honestly say my life is so drama free. I don't have any drama. I haven't had drama for years,
Yeah.
because I know my path. I know what I need to do, and I know what to pay attention to and what not, because we over exaggerate every little freaking thing now. Everything is over exaggerated to the T,
Yes.
and it's just like,
Yes.
yo, look, listen, if nobody's about to die,
Yeah.
stick to the purpose and know you have help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Wow. First of all, to even just come from the janitor to where you are now, the
Mm-hmm.
janitor position, your evidence, right? Your
Yeah,
evidence for somebody to be like, you know what, I can do it. I can be that.
exactly.
I could live it. And I think a lot of the times, and this is what I think about, I speak about all the time, is just how society likes to put us in a box, right?
Yeah,
Society wants us in this cycle of the American dream, whatever that is. I don't subscribe to it. Where can we get to the point of just believing and having faith in God and what He tells us, and be able to really recognize that Him leading is going to lead us to the greatness and the goodness and the faithfulness and all the beautiful things that He has to offer us? Like, a lot of us like to go towards destruction, right? Because things they look shiny and they come fast, and
and that's the
it's
sad
not.
reality that we live. The majority of us live.
Yeah.
That's all they think. That's all they think they're allowed to have. And there's
Yeah.
so much more.
So much more. I feel bad for people that just want to get it fast because they feel like they don't have enough time or they don't have enough patience. And it's just like, I understand we all deserve the best of the best and you're worth it, right? But at what cost? Like the cost of your soul?
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't want that to be for anybody, you know? But your testimony, it speaks a lot about you believing in God and
mm-hmm.
believing what He's saying, what He's showing you, and just to have that feeling, because I've experienced that myself. I know what you mean with that euphoria feeling, with that,
Yeah,
like,
so innate. Yeah,
it's something that, like, I would say people have to experience that for themselves.
yeah,
And, it's not something that I could really explain to anybody per se, but you just have to know that, like, when it comes to these supernatural like experiences, it shouldn't be seen as something like so to the left, because these are things
yeah.
that are so natural,
It's
and
natural.
I feel like when we talk about things like experience like these, people get like creeped out or like, oh my God, you're talking to the dead. And it's just like, first
Yeah,
of all, we did not summon these these spirits up, and we're not saying, I want to talk to you now, please, like using the Ouija, like, no,
yeah. We're not
like,
dancing and in the middle of the forest, like
yeah,
calling
like,
upon, like
yeah, no, that's like totally different. And meanwhile, like, there's people that do that, and that's cool, but
yeah,
like, that's not what we're subscribed to. And I think it's very natural, right, for God to speak to. I mean, He created us. The Spirit
yeah,
is within us. It's like that's why Jesus died, right? Like, we
yeah.
have that connection with
Got
Him.
tortured and his body was destroyed for us,
Yes, yes.
like
He
in
didn't have
the
to do
worst
that.
way. Like if people actually understood the way in which he was getting like tortured before he died, like you would really like tighten up. Like
Yeah,
it was like
yeah,
it'll really bring a tear to your eye just thinking of it.
yeah.
Like
He
just
was
thinking about it.
like unrecognizable.
Yes, it was unrecognizable. Like his face was like everything
Yeah,
was done. Even the
Yeah.
way they drove the nails in, there was a specific way so that he had the worst pain with it. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But one of the
Yeah.
reasons why people and just because I don't have a denomination, I don't identify religiously. There is no denomination on earth. We're followers of Jesus, follower of Yahweh, Yahweh, whatever name, Yahusha, Yeshua, whatever name you want to use, you
Yes.
know. But people still think that it's magic. Now
Yeah.
there is a very very big difference. Okay, there are so like us as a people, especially us melanated ones, like we have embedded powers, like we have like like
Yeah.
we have like just we're the original of we're the original of this planet, like this is just facts, and so if we're
Yeah.
the originals of this planet, that means we harbor a little bit more than usual, and a lot of people, when you speaking religiously, they're always demons and black magic and stuff like that. Now, if you are consciously and intentionally know what it is that you're doing and you do it for whether it's your gain or somebody else's, that is the dark arts. That's
Yeah.
black. That when you're knowing what you're doing, that is not out. Now, I was explaining this to my mom because I was like, like when I have dreams or when I get like prophecies and stuff, because this times God tells me like the truth about certain things, and I'll go tell them, I'll go tell somebody, warn somebody, but they have to go through with it. It doesn't matter. Like a lot of prophecy is not about prevention. It's about this is going to happen. That's what a lot of people
Wow.
kind of get it messed up a little bit. And
Yeah.
when I get these prophecies, when I get these things, I don't know how to do it. Like I don't know what's happening in my body. It just happens like that. That's God.
Yeah.
That's the difference. What to
What
me.
would I no, I agree.
Mhm.
I'm thinking for someone who may be listening, right? And they may be like, okay, prophecy, what's the difference between prophecy and what psychics do?
Yeah. So a lot of sidekicks, um, so prophecy comes directly from God. Prophecy is like, hey guys, this is going to happen, and prophecies can only go to the real prophets. Like they say, nothing will happen until the prophets see it first. And then and then sidekicks. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. Like I believe, like I really do believe that people that they have these powers like this. Like there are people who are psychic. They are that. Um, I believe there's a level of research that comes with it. When it comes to some of them, I don't believe it's all of them. It's everything is everything. It's just like when all the cops were killing all of us and everything like that. I didn't condemn all cops. I condemned the ones
Yeah.
that did it. So I can't
Yeah.
speak like it all depends. If they know they are getting it directly from God and they're in constant prayer when they are doing these practices, that's how you know. If you're not, which a lot of them do, and they think it's directly them, and they're like, oh no, this is you got to come to me and do this. That's you're falling short of source, and in
Yeah.
that way, things you can't see can intersect where you think, you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of interception that can happen if you think it's just you, or if you're not going directly to God for this basically. That's where I stand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I only asked this question too because I was one, right, who was dabbling into tarot cards
Yeah,
and
oh, no problem.
not I feel like all of us go down that journey and then we're like
You know why?
so what
One
happened?
of the reasons why. A lot of times when we go from the physical to the spiritual side of ourselves, and we want to start getting more spiritual, you got to go through the darkness first.
That is
You're coming
true.
over to that. God's gonna reveal, hey, this is the dark. You have to go through the darkness of it first to know
That is
what to
true.
do. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to go through the
Yes.
go to the darkness. You know what I'm saying?
That is
Go through the dark
true.
of it first, and God knows that. Like
Mm.
He knows that because He knows the people that do it the most can get delivered in the best way possible because they've been
Mm.
in it the deepest and the longest, so they can explain it to you and teach you and not use it against you. So those ones
Yeah.
who are like freaking just 100-degree, like I'm the best, like I run the whole thing. Their testimonies are going to be the most powerful because
Mm.
they did everything under the sun. They learned, and now they're going to fight tooth and nail to prevent you from ever doing it ever. Like you won't even
Yeah.
see 1% of it if those
Yeah.
people are at you. So it's wild that the deepest chaos can bring some of the greatest good. You
Yeah.
know,
And
it's
for
just
his
time.
glory.
Yeah,
It's for
yep,
his
exactly.
glory.
And God isn't going to judge him. The glory still is all God. God will use a murderer, a prostitute, a gang member before he uses somebody who is his children already, because he wants to
Yeah.
get everybody, not just us. He knows that we know already. He wants to get the ones that
Mm-hmm.
don't know, and he uses
Yeah.
us to go get them. So.
Yeah. You brought to my remembrance of I was recently on a pop-up podcast episode, and the one of the guests that I was with, she was saying, God created the darkness before the light. He said, let there be light. He didn't say, let there be darkness. And I was
Yeah,
like, wow, like, duh. Like,
no,
you have to go through the darkness. That makes sense.
the darkness
That,
was here first. Like this was
yeah.
first. Like if you know the Old Testament, God was very fierce in the Old Testament.
Mm,
Because you can attest it to the dark. God had to go through the darkness too. You see, like
yeah.
Jesus had to go through the dark. Don't get me started.
Yes.
don't,
Go
because it's
ahead. Go
deep.
ahead.
It's very deep, and people in church will be, oh my God, like how dare you? Like it's
Mm,
they had trial and error as well. That's why God gave us the rainbow, which was the covenant that He will never flood us again. He flooded us.
mm.
Like,
Yeah.
he wiped
Yeah.
us out. He flooded us.
Yeah.
And I understand it goes back to the story of Enlil and Enki if you really want to get into some stuff. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. But like the Old Testament was fierce, man. It was violent.
Yeah.
It was gruesome. It was very, very deep. And
Yeah.
after all of that, they got the New Testament and stuff. You didn't hear anything about this anymore. You didn't hear about burnt offerings anymore, sacrifices and stuff anymore. None of that.
Mm,
And because it was almost like, yo, like God created us and He's still observing us and living through us. And He just realized, like, oh man, I might have to, I might have to do some stuff, or I might have to stop this, or I might have to add this. And God is ever
mm.
changing and He's always
Yeah.
bending and meshing and doing different things, and we'll never be able to fathom it. But it's
Yeah.
for the greater good at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, I
Right.
trust it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't have all the scriptures down packed, but like I know stories. Listen, don't
Oh
there's
yeah,
some things that I'm still learning about, right? Like I don't think at this point in my life I'm not, cuz like there's some people that really pride themselves on knowing the Bible from front to
yeah,
back
yeah.
and upside down, and I'm
Yeah.
like I'm not there yet. Like don't get me wrong, like I am in the Bible app every day.
So you got your plans?
I sure do, and we about to be friends on the Bible app.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'll tell you which ones I'm looking at right now. Like life changing.
life
Oh my
changing.
God! When you read the Bible
Yeah,
in accordance with your life and not just opening it and reading it page to page, that's how you're supposed to. Like
yeah,
it's beautiful. It's really amazing.
yeah. I did a episode, and I took a snippet of like how well actually I did a whole episode. I was talking about the ultimate entrepreneur, and I was talking about Jesus and how he's the ultimate entrepreneur,
Oh
because I
yeah.
never thought to open the Bible and be like, okay, like who's the blueprint? Who can I follow as an entrepreneur? Who's the model here?
Mhm.
Duh, Jesus. What was he doing this whole
He
time?
was just
Like,
being just the coolest dude like on planet, bro. Like
like
bro was literally healing people, like, and they
yeah.
killed him for it. Like, yo,
Mm,
just he was just being everything
yeah.
to everybody, and then here they come. Along comes a spider.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that if and continue to say, like, if no other book in the world, like just go straight to the Bible and you will find financial,
Oh,
relationships,
yeah.
entrepreneurship, whatever in the Bible. Like that's what you got.
And then you'll
Um,
see how America literally just put everything that it says you're not supposed to do. America has something for it, like for
Facts,
real.
facts.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
usury and all that stuff. Like it's like America's found some type of way to do it,
mm,
and we think it's normal. Like
yeah,
for real, like it's
yeah.
it's crazy.
Well,
Deprogramming.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's why they got people like you and I, okay?
Yeah,
So we gonna get
put you in
to
the
it.
matrix.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I know you've also talked about numerology a little bit
Mhm.
when you were sending me some info, and I found it so interesting because I am very much that person that, when I interact with the world, like I'm always looking at like license plates, numbers that I see on billboards, even
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my phone, right?
Mhm.
I know a lot of people today talk about angel numbers and what
Yeah.
that means. So you spoke about how the number seven, really, you have a connection with the number seven. So can you elaborate a little bit more about that number and how it shows up for you in the world?
Yeah, yeah. So going back to my initial awakening, like when I had left my job and everything like that, I noticed that it was January 7th that day. Um, and then when I had got the message, I noticed it was 7 o'clock. It was like 7:10, I believe, that day.
Mm.
So it was one of those things where I was just like, this is kind of interesting. I was like, let me just see, like if there's some type of like like let me see if I can see something. Um,
Mm.
then I noticed February 7th, March 7th, March 17th, March 27th, um, April 7th. Anything with that, there was like a breadcrumb for me, and it had to do with music or helping somebody in music. Um,
Mm.
I wrote all these down too as well. So I noticed on all these days it was something very, very specific. It was either something that God wanted me to do, somebody who He wanted me to help, or
Mm.
something like that. And I noticed that what it seemed like, because I know seven is completion. So what it seemed like is just like, okay, all these things it seems like are like you're trying to complete me, or
Yeah,
complete, like, because I don't believe any human can be complete. Like you're helping me to complete something, you know. And all
gotcha.
these breadcrumbs, all these days were the pieces of the puzzle of the vision that He gave me. So every
Mm.
time it's the seventh, I'm always cognizant. I'm always looking around, like, all right, Lord, like, what message do you have for me today, or what's this? So seven is like me and God. That's like our thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. And
uh,
that's beautiful because to me, that speaks of confirmation, right? It's like
yeah,
when
it's always.
yeah, you need a little quick answer. You're like, all right. I think, I don't know. A lot of the times for me, of course, I think 18 because I was born on the 18th, right? 26 for the longest, and still to this day, I don't know what 26 is. Like where it stems from, but like that's like our thing too is number 26. Which I always break it down to be 8 because 8 for me is abundance. And
Yeah, yeah, you always
so,
gotta add up, add the numbers up and everything like that. I can tell you what my
yeah,
spirit literally just told me to tell you about that.
yeah.
About around literally between 26 and 34, those are the years in which your spirit hits level 2. So
Yeah,
that's
I
mainly probably what
got it.
he's saying. Like, hey, pay attention to when, like, I don't, like, pay attention to when you were 26, or pay attention to when you turn 26, or something with that, something significant
Yeah,
happened in that year of 26, or is going to happen. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It already happened then. It already happened then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Well,
20 something thing is significant in 26 that is a major clue towards your future, basically. So it's just,
yeah.
just think of it in like that, and it'll reveal itself in the slightest way, but you'll see the
Yeah.
connection.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. No, because like that wouldn't be like the first time I heard something like that. I feel like um on the precipice of turning 30. I mean, my birthday was in October, right? I'm a October baby. So this year I'm turning 31, and ever since I turned 30, I'm like, it's just going up. Like, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah,
So when you even said 34, I'm like, I can't even imagine what my life will look like when I'm 34, God willing. Like, if it's as good as I feel that it's going to be, like, I'm going to be shocked. I don't know what God has in store, but I just know it's like for you too, like up, 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 up. Like you were
you have no
27
clue.
when things happened,
Yeah,
flying, taking
yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. No, for real, and it's like a rocket ship. It's
Yeah.
the biggest blast off. And don't be discouraged as to how slow you blast off. Okay?
That's
No,
real.
just know you're fueled up and the countdown is already at 0. And,
Yeah.
like things just still falling off and whatnot. Like the jets
No,
might
that's
still be,
real.
generating. You might see a little bit of fire, but not so much. And then it's going to be,
Like
then
pew
you're going to,
pew.
yeah. And then you're going to see the time where it's just straight torch, just smoke everywhere. And then it's the launch. So I remember my launch
Yeah.
my launch was not now like the vision is immediate, but just know that when God gives you the vision, it's not like, bro, we need you to do this in like 2 days. Otherwise, like you're not getting into heaven. Like it's just not.
No, that's fact.
It is your lifetime. This is a lifetime vision.
Yeah.
And a lot of times God switches things up. So the vision he gives you now might be for a couple of years. And then it's a whole other thing that probably is completely unrelated to what you're doing right now. So
Yeah.
it happens like that because we're multifaceted, we're multidimensional, so we have multiple purposes. It's not just one. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm made here for one thing." No, you're not. You're made here for an
Yeah.
infinite amount of things. You have the free will to pick it. Just know whatever you pick, bring people to God through that. That
Yes.
is the
Yeah.
difference between free will and like that's why they say our life is determined, but it's already predetermined already. Like we don't have control, but we have control. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were speaking to, I was just for like thinking about, once the job is done, there's no purpose of us really being here anymore in this vessel. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like
That's
we
why we
rush
not.
to get right. I mean, like we rush to get the job done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then it's like, all right, it's done. You gotta go. So it's
Mhm.
not like
Yeah.
you just finish and then, yeah, I'm gonna stay here for another 30 years. Like,
Just chill out, see what I
right,
did. I'm not gonna do anything else, but I'm gonna just watch what I did. And it's like, bro.
right. Like, okay, like God, but no, it's like, I feel as coming back around to the number 7 for you, I think it's a good reminder too that, since it is completion, it's like another just yes, it's confirmation for you in that moment, but it's also confirmation just for the long haul, right? For you
Yeah,
that you always know that yeah, whatever you told me back when I was 27, like it is going to be completed and that gives you more faith and more drive to, to keep moving because it's not easy. It's not easy. This journey is not easy.
yeah.
So we all need that encouragement, whether from other people or just from him, or himself.
Yeah, exactly. We and then God like, works through people. So like that's why like I try to encourage as many people as I can and try to, like develop this, do this, like you could try to be there as much as possible for people because that's God working through us to do that. Like he's not gonna come down and do it himself. He's gonna, he's gonna
Yeah.
utilize us to do it, and that's what we have to remember how important that we are to one another in each other's lives. Joe, like one thing that you say in 30 seconds will change up an entire person's life, like the entirety of their life. People don't get how vast that is. Like if they got
Yeah.
60 more years left, you just impacted 60 years of their life and then some,
Yeah.
and then if they were teaching that same thing to the people around them, you done helped change so many people's lives and you wasn't even present. It was
That's
just what
right.
you initially said to that one person. And that's the threads of fate, or whatever they say, like the threads of life and everything like that. It's so many connections. Do you understand, like, if you just get up and go behind those doors and come back in that instance, the entire universe has changed. Like like things are gonna happen. Or if you just go make one phone call real fast, the entire universe has changed. Like one little thing that we do that's all for different, everything that was supposed to be will be no more. It's gonna be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's the
one thing.
consequence. It's like
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Everything's
yeah. Because that's it seems like that's why I feel personally so much pressure
mm-hmm.
sometimes when I have to make decisions. And I know I'm not the only one out there,
Oh
but it's
yeah,
just like
this
we
is the
always
trajectory of your life. Like,
it's like but in the moment like something like making a call, right, can seem so minor. But then you're like, oh, if I make the call, like this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. If I don't make, we're going through the pros and cons list all the time.
yeah.
And it's like, but to know that we have to make mistakes, right? Like that's the thing. It's like we don't want to make the wrong choice, but like if you make the wrong choice, you still learn from it, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Like
That wrong choice was predetermined by God already for you to make that choice.
yeah,
But
right.
he knew what you were going to gain after you made that wrong decision. And so what you gain is
Exactly.
way better, is way more. But you have to look at it the right way, because if you look at it pessimistically, then you're going to destroy what God has been trying to teach you the whole time. And that's what us as humans
Mm-hmm.
do all the time. And we have to just cut it out. You guys be like, yo, listen,
Yeah.
okay. Like, like
Yeah.
it's all right, man. Like we signed up for the hardest mystery school in the universe, planet
Yes.
Earth. you know,
Yeah, that
so
is a fact.
yeah,
I always say, like, yeah, we are, even though we may be out of the classroom, like high school, college, whatever it is, this whole world is life. We are a student. We are a
yeah,
student forevermore.
forever.
Um, I want to pivot a little bit
Yeah,
and ask you this question because a lot of the times I hear a lot of people say, like even me, right? We say the universe, we say God. Do you see them one and the same, or do you see them as two different entities?
it's inside and outside. It's within and without. It's both. It's always both.
Mm,
It's always two. He has to be inside
mm,
and outside. There is no creation without creator, but creator is
right.
also part of the creation, because
Mm,
you see what I'm saying? So, like I said, God is outside of us, looking at us, and also within us, experiencing what he wants to experience through our bodies and through our free will, basically. So, he's both. He's inside. He's outside, but his essence is inside of everything. So his essence is everywhere, but there is creator and then
mm,
creation, you know, but
gotcha.
yeah,
That
but all
makes
the same,
sense.
though, it's all one.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends on the lens you're
I
speaking in.
Right. Because I always say, obviously, just to piggyback off what you're saying, like God created the universe, right?
Mhm.
Because I sometimes at a part of my journey, I was like, I hear people say thanking the universe, but I'm like, shouldn't you be thanking God?
Yeah,
That's why I was like confused.
yeah, no, no, no. Don't You
So,
don't thank the art. You thank the artist. You thank the you like you say, like you don't say, hey, like you're not gonna say, oh my gosh, painting, thank you for giving yourself to me. You're gonna look
yeah,
at the painter
yeah.
and be like, thank you so much for painting this wonderful creation for me and giving this to me. So
Right,
yeah,
right. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, thank you for
that has
breaking that down for
yeah,
me
yeah,
because
that has to be
I'm like, what is going on?
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's a big deal for those people out there that actually, subscribe to that. And that's cool, right? I
yeah.
think a part of my journey too is coming back to I think you could relate to this as well, just like the healing crystals, the chakra systems, which are very like the chakra systems, at
Very
least
real.
to me, very real.
Yes.
Um, the crystals, I'm still on the fence about. I'm still
Um.
like
Yeah.
I'm.
Go ahead.
No, no, I'm just saying because I feel like God has convicted me of those things. I was very much into crystals. I had them all the time around my home. I would go to work with them, stick them in my
Yep.
bra because I
Hmm.
wanted protection.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, God was like, all you need is like, I'm your protection.
Jesus
Like
is the only
what?
way. Mhm.
So for me, he told me to throw all of that out, all of my tarot cards, all of my oracle cards. I did that like literally a year ago,
Hmm.
and I've been feeling much lighter. Like, have was there a time, or even now, that you still have those around, or
Um.
were you convicted in the same way?
Yeah. So in the beginning, when I was going through the darkness of my spirituality and doing like my shadow work and everything like that, crystals were cool. From what I've heard, they're naturally occurring in the earth, and they simply just resonated with our chakra system. What I soon to find out was people were putting the crystals above source. Like if you're going to grab a crystal for protection before praying,
Yeah.
that was an issue. You know, these were supposed to be used as tools. They're mere tools. They're spiritual tools, But I actually have been convicted in the same way. I still have all my crystals, but I don't touch them. I haven't like used them or grasped them. I just have them because I spent a lot of money on them. I'm gonna give them away to somebody. Eventually, I do still have them, but I don't look at them or touch them or utilize them in any way. I don't have them on me, and I actually have a moldavite.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no,
That's big.
that's the most powerful killing crystal that you
Yeah.
can get, and like
Yeah.
make your hands sweat. And yeah, it's deep. And I used to walk around with that. Like I used to like my. It was crazy. My brother, he couldn't handle it for too long, but I was faithfully walking around with it, and it at the time I believe it vaulted me a little bit at the time because it's a heart chakra crystal. Well, it's not even a crystal; it's a tektite. It's a glass. Um, but no, after a while, basically, I was just like, I looked at myself. I was like, why do I need all these for? I was just like, all I gotta do is pray or just be in prayer and know Jesus is King already, and that's it. So ever since then, I haven't messed with this. I haven't brought any or any. I used to go faithfully. There's a metaphysical store down the street from my house. I used to be in there all the time, buying stuff. They teach me about certain things. It does this, and I'm just like, I don't think I need it anymore.
Yeah.
So
And that's actually good because I feel like a lot of the times even the fake ones, right? Like we
there's a
think
lot
we
of fake
got the real ones and
They
then they carry
think.
that, but they even carry an energy around, like, in our home. Now it's in our home, it's on us, and it's just like we don't know what we're attracting. We don't really know.
Exactly. Yeah, you never
So,
really knows, but Jesus, we know, So
yeah.
that was it for me,
Yeah.
and I've been going great ever
Gotcha.
since. Yeah.
Yeah, listen. I'm so happy that, like, just to speak with you, it just feels so refreshing because it's like someone who actually gets it, and even though our journeys aren't the same, it's very much parallel, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So this whole conversation is refreshing. I just have just a couple more questions for you, and then we'll be going into our next segment. The question I want us to pivot to is just, how would you like your work to impact and transform whether your listeners, your audience, just within the next few years?
At the end of the day, people need to understand really just how strong they are and that they can do it. There, the word is defeated. People are defeated. Some of them, they worked their whole life, still didn't get anywhere. Some of them, they've been putting all their money into certain things and haven't gotten a result. And really, it's just honing in and focusing and just staying in prayer and knowing that we don't have to live this life by ourselves. The minute that you understand that, the minute I grasped that, that's the minute my life took off. So if there's anything that people need to know, it's like that we have help down here. You do not have to do it on your own. And if the closer that you get to God, the further along in life you're going to get. You're never going to fail. You're never going to falter. You're never going to hunger, and you're never going to thirst.
What's that first step that someone can take that may be looking to have a more intimate relationship with God and just getting closer to God?
At the first thing I tell people to do is do shadow work. You have to know yourself, know what triggers you. That is the biggest thing. Your traumas are trauma is what holds everybody back. It doesn't matter what it is. It all goes back to trauma. Understand what triggers you and master your emotions. You're not supposed to become your emotions. You're supposed to observe them. Like how God is observing everything through you, we're supposed to observe our emotions. And people don't do that. They become that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we have to just distinguish what's going on so that we have a clear minded. Like you can't see your reflection in hot water and boiling water at all. You gotta wait for it to be calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
Okay.
mastering your emotions, all that.
Yeah. That is good. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. Before we
Definitely.
wrap up, I'm going to go into our segment called Empowerment EP. So Empowerment EP is a chance for you to share 3 songs that have been a source of strength and inspiration to you on your journey.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to necessarily be right now, but it could be. But these songs will be shared on our playlist that we
Okay.
have cultivated. And yeah, so share your 3.
Man, let me see, 3 songs that changed me. One was the song I wrote, "Say Amen." That whole song was real. um, that song flowed out of me. I think I wrote that song in like 5 minutes, and it was one of my best songs. That was my first hit. Yeah, my third
Wow.
verse on there is my favorite. My third verse on there is life changing. I listened to that song a lot to remember, like, hey, I wrote these words and to know it. And so that was one of the pivotal songs that I have. Another song that kind of changed my life. Let me see. People on the spiritual path. Yeah, there's a couple songs. Um, there's this song. I love Afro beats, by the way.
Me
There's this
too.
Afrobeat gospel song. Actually, this song is so hot, and it's called "Bigger Every Day" by
uh,
Moses Bliss. That's his name. That song is so fire. It's like 7 of them on that track, and
ooh.
it's just about getting. It goes, "We're getting bigger every day." Like, remember, you're getting bigger every day. Like little steps.
Yeah.
Like any little
Yeah.
thing. Like even after this podcast, if you go and learn something about podcasting or something like that, you just got bigger today. You know, so we're
Yeah.
getting bigger every day.
1%.
You know, yeah, for
Right. I
real.
have to check that one
And
out.
yeah, it's mad dope. It's a really cool song. And then what's another the third song? Um, Probably another song of mine that I did that was really really impactful. That I listened to again just to remember where I came from. Was my song SOS. That's about mental health. That
Nice.
was my shadow work in a song. Like, I crucified myself on that song so that people could understand, like, you are not alone. I went through this and I was specific. I told people exactly what I was dealing with in that song, and people come up to me crying when they hear it. Like, that's a song I don't whip out
Wow.
every now and then. Like it's one of those, but
Yeah.
I've seen that
I have
song
to,
heal people too.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely tap in. I have not, that's the one thing that I'm like, ooh, I have not really touched of yours yet, and I'm sorry.
Nah, take
I
your time,
haven't
man. Nah,
listened.
there's nothing to be proud about. Like, God's going to listen. You gonna listen to it when you listen to
And no, I'm just
it.
like, you have a lot of you have a lot of talent. So I'm just like, wait, let me just peel back this layer. As I'm still on this layer, now we on
Yeah.
the next layer. You know what I'm
Wait till you
saying?
hear the new
So
songs. Oh Lord, wait till you hear
uh,
the new ones.
when are you dropping?
I'm working on my second album right now, um,
Nice.
and also dabbling in my third one, which I already know. Usually I just drop multiple albums. Like, there's 7 songs, one producer. It's one sound, 7 songs, and we go. So I'm working on the one album right now, and I got a couple singles I'm coming out with, a couple features and everything like that. And we just
Nice.
dropping straight truth bombs, gems, diamonds,
Okay.
emeralds, sapphires, all day,
Yes.
all day long.
Well, I can't wait to tune in and catch that. I'll be sure I follow you, so I'll see it.
Yeah.
And definitely, well, we'll get there. I'm gonna let you drop your socials in a minute. Before we get there, we have another segment called Shine a Light on Them. And so this is a time where you could definitely showcase, well, share and shout out the people that have been in your corner, right? Like, you want to show gratitude for them and just to show them some appreciation.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. So first and foremost, man, to God be the glory forever and ever and ever. Y'all already know. Shout out to my
Yes.
parents. If it weren't for them, man, they're the ones I credit my intelligence to, because I was in every academic program. So shout out to my parents. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And they in the beginning they allowed me. They just gave me a lot of leniency, which was enough for me to help build one of the biggest brands, music showcase brands in New Jersey. Shout out to Thorough Entertainment, Joey and Biggs and Louie. Y'all are the greatest production team anybody can ever ask for. Be on the lookout for All Time High. That's a new show that's here, and it's going to be really really big. They have been very very pivotal in every single thing that I do. The quality that they have is unmatched, and it's incredible. Shout out to my bro, Remember SB, keeping me, steadfast, man. He's one of the top people in music out here, man. He's been doing it for the longest, like literally longer than everybody that I know. And we got songs together. We work very closely together, and we help to keep each other, up. Shout out to my brothers, all four of them, because believe me, they help me. My younger brother, Dre, he does all my photography, videography. My older brother, he helps with setup. My other brothers, they just give me encouragement. They're always there at the shows too. Um, Damn, man, there's a lot of people. Shout out to Ish for having let me have Billion Bars Club during COVID when I wasn't supposed to at his merch shop. So Ish was very pivotal. That's where Billion Bars Club started at Ish's spot, Natago in North Brunswick, 1007 Livingston Ave, man. Never forget. So Ish was pivotal. Shout out to my brother Eli, one of the greatest hosts ever, helped me to build Billion Bars Club. The whole team, multiple teams. Shout out to Rose City. They were there when I didn't like when people switched up with me and I had to change venues and stuff like that. Kels, Corey, y'all are the best, man. I love y'all. Man, Kayla, she's my performance photographer. She's also on the road with me too. She's been doing video and stuff for me as well. Kay's live camera. Man, that's a lot. Will, the bartender, really, really incredible person. We'll put you up on
Shout
everything.
out to Will. I know Will.
That's my guy, man. Will
Yes.
is amazing. He's really amazing. And yeah, man, that's my bro JP. We got songs together. We keep each other up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically.
You have a
Shout out to
lovely
you.
list. Well, thank you. Shout out to you too. Yeah, you're blessed to be surrounded by a lot of people that really believe in your vision, believe in you, and it's amazing to hear that you went from wearing all the hats to now you're shouting out a big team of people and just collaborations, and partnerships. So that's a blessing.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we go, let the people know where they can connect with you.
Definitely. And good. Hopefully my battery doesn't die. I'm on 1%. It's on Instagram, LBezzle Music. My website, www.lbezzlemusic.com. Facebook, same thing, at LBezzle Music. Follow at Billion Bars Club as well. Follow at All Time High. Those are all the shows. Follow Rose City as well on Instagram. That's where the shows are at. And we all over, man. We taking over Jersey, man, one step at a time. And God is love always, man.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Your Divine Glow podcast. We enjoyed your presence, your energy, and your wisdom. And I'm just so grateful for you.
You too.
We'll catch you in the next episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, continue to let your divine glow shine, babies. Peace.
Divine glow.